we just talked about the Tigers. They don't have a lot of pressure on them, I'm assuming, from the outside presence. But speaking of pressure, Detroit Lions are going to be under a lot of pressure this year. And which two Detroit Lions do you think are going to be under the most pressure to succeed this year? Because we'll give some options. You got Jared Goff. You got Jameson Williams, obviously, with suspension. And I'll throw out Aiden Hutchinson just because of that second-year gap that we want him to cover. So if you had to pick between those three, who do you think has the most pressure on them to take that next step or just succeed in general?
I don't think it's close. I think it's Jamo. I really do.
You don't?
No, I don't think it's. And let me tell you why. It is a situation where whether we want to admit it or not, there are a lot of people that almost want this guy to fall on his face now.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, there's definitely that.
Way too much has been made about some of the off-the-field stuff, okay? Mm-hmm. Look, the gambling stuff, I have no other way to say it. Jamo, it's moronic. I mean, all you had to do was walk out the door, jump in your car. We all know how to get out of the Lions facility. You make a left, and you make a left, and then you can park your car like literally 50 yards away, and you're not on facility anymore to make those deals. Lesson learned, that's okay. But now, doesn't it seem like every other week there's this story about you have to question his maturity.
Lighting off fireworks now.
He was seen at a Coney Island at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. I go to Coney Islands any time of the day. But unfortunately, there's that's kind of hovering over them. Do I think it's fair? No, I don't. I don't think it's fair. But that's the way it is. So because of that, the best way to quiet that crap down is to come back from your suspension and be an integral part of the offense and show that big play capability that we saw only in flashes a couple times last year. So to me, I think that's an easy one.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with you.
All right.
I think it has to fall on the shoulders of Jared Goff. I think any NFL quarterback in general carries the most pressure on any team because outside of the coach, if a team fails, they're looking at the quarterback. And we just drafted Hendon Hooker, the Detroit Lions, to replace Jared Goff. So I understand Jameson, from an individual standpoint, has a lot of pressure. But just from the Lions team perspective of pressure, Jared Goff has to go out there and ball this year because if he doesn't, it's his job. He wants to get paid again. He wants to stay in Detroit, I'm assuming. And they just said, hey, Jared, we want to keep you in Detroit, but we don't have to anymore. They have to hang on to Jameson Williams regardless if he balls out this year or next. He'll have that next season to prove himself. This, in my opinion, is Jared Goff's make-or-break year. I think he has everything to prove, and he has the ability to do it. But if he doesn't, I think the noise around Jamo will be nothing compared to if Jared Goff goes out there and we're 7-10, and all of it's going to be on Goff.
I like your logic, I do, and I'm not arguing with your logic too much. I think for me though, I'm looking at one, his proven that he can get it done, and again, we can have the debate if you think that Jared Goff is merely a top 10 guy, if whatever the case may be. I think the fact that he's proven that he can get it done maybe gives Jamo the edge. Because, again, let me say this for the record. I don't think it's fair, some of the scrutiny that Jamo's been under. Who gives a crap if the guy rolls to a Coney Island at 3 o'clock in the morning? Who gives a crap if he's watching fireworks? That's all the stuff. Whether we want to admit it or not, does that come into play? Absolutely. The guys
so,
are...
though?
I know so, and let me tell you why. These guys can talk until they're blue in the face, that it's white noise to them. There was a particular quarterback in this town. You might remember him. I gave him his nickname, Joey Blue Skies. Joey Harrington became Joey Blue Skies, okay? Joey Harrington would tell every single person, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't listen to what people say. I don't read what people say. Well, it's really interesting. There were certain people in the media he never talked to. Well, why is that? Yeah. I wonder why that is. And then, of course, fast forward to the end of his career, then he was talking about how all the negativity brought him down. And it wasn't Joey's fault because he struggled as quarterback. It was all the negativity around him. So I wholeheartedly disagree that guys don't hear that stuff. They hear that stuff. How they react to it is a different story.
And I think that's the thing that I honestly do believe, because we talk about, especially with Alabama, how guys are kind of treated like they're on a silver platter and how they kind of, just keep going, do you, and they really don't face that adversity. And that comes a lot around the Alabama players. And I think Jameson Williams, he's in a situation where, yeah, the 6-game suspension is uncontrollable, but how he bounces back is completely controllable. It's not like he lost any ability. This guy's going to come back. He's going to come back pissed off, and I think Jared Goff is going to benefit him very much well. But I'm with you. He has pressure, but if this team misses the playoffs, people are going to be looking at Jared Goff. And the other thing I want to touch on, I love how the media will cover Jameson Williams lighting off fireworks and go to Coney Island, but the man literally held a free football camp in the rain, and it wasn't like it was in the glamorous part of Detroit over the weekend, and hardly any media covered it. Jalen, who works with us a lot, did, so shout out to him. But Spenny, Flannel, who's under the most pressure for the Lions to succeed?
I'm with Sean. It's Jamo 100%. Like, the way the people are already turning their back on him, throwing him under the bus, calling him Charles Rogers 2.0.
That shit pisses me off.
It's like, let the guy... Yeah, okay, again, I agree with Sean. The gambling thing, stupid. Inexcusable. It's stupid. Shouldn't have done it. But it's in the past. He's going to serve his time for it, and it'll be past that. And then he's going to come in, and once he catches a 60-yard touchdown the first week he's back, everybody's talking shit. It's going to be like, oh, I love Jamo. Yeah, it's right what the Lions need. Like, the kid's electric. The kid's special. Yeah, it sucks that we got to wait until week 7 to see it, but that was his fault. He manned up to it. He admitted it, and now he's moving on. So stop it with he's lighting off fireworks. Oh, he's at Coney Island. Oh, he's Charles Rogers. No, he's his own man. He made a stupid mistake. He's going to learn from it. He's going to be fine.
Flannel?
I am going to make it a clean sweep other than you, Lucas, and go with Jameson Williams as well. Here's the thing about Jameson Williams. Obviously, a lot like the fireworks stuff and the Coney Island stuff that is a little bit overblown, but I feel like because people are maybe being overly critical of him for that, you've got people who will defend him like he's their son at this point. Like, every single thing he does is like, why are you picking on Jameson Williams? Well, here's another faction of people as well. Obviously, Jameson Williams has a ton of talent. He came into the NFL as an injured player. We weren't expecting much of him. He did play 6 games. And in those 6 games, he only did touch the ball twice. And I get it was a 41-yard touchdown and a 40-yard run, but still, he only touched the ball twice. And it's the people that are just so insistent that, oh, I'm not worried about anything. And then after that, he got a 6-game gambling suspension. And the people that are so insistent that, oh, I don't know what you guys are talking about. There's no worries. He's absolutely going to be great. There's those people, and those same people are acting like he already has done enough to validate why he was drafted. And I'm just like, I think that's lunacy. I think this year there's a ton of pressure on him to validate where they drafted him, because I'm a little bit worried that if, I don't know, he has the type of season where maybe he catches 22 passes for 410 and 6 touchdowns, that people are still going to be like, you see? No, he has to be a star. I think he has the ability, but I think people have lowered their expectations for Jameson Williams, and I don't get it.
I think he's going to be huge.
I think
period. I really do. I think the dude's going to ball out. I
so
do.
do I. But here's the thing, the context around that, and it's not just you, Flannel, but people act like Jameson Williams was supposed to play last year. If Jameson Williams didn't play last year, everybody would be A-okay with it because he was coming off a torn ACL. The fact of what he did at Alabama and how explosive and what he could do with the ball in his hands, he showed you when he really shouldn't even have showed you that last year. So now he's going to have a full season and 6+ games, or full off season and 6+ games, not only to get healthy, but he's going to mature, I think, more than he would have if nothing happened. I think that's what's going to be the approach to the game, and that going with Amon-Ra St. Brown, that's why guys, like, when I say I'm not worried about Jameson Williams as far as the pressure, is because that noise is going to be there. But like Spenny said, the second when he comes back against the Baltimore Ravens and he scores a touchdown, that pressure is going to go chink, and now it's just relying on his ability to perform, which watching the film at Alabama, I'm not worried about.
You know what's interesting? I'm going to go back to what you said, because I think what needs to be repeated here, and although I'm not changing, I think Jamo is different. There are certain gigs in this town that are traditionally hard. And I think the goaltender for the Red Wings people are unduly unjust to you. I think the quarterback for the Detroit Lions is another position. If this team somehow, some way, okay, God forbid, and I want to make this clear, I don't think this is going to happen, okay?
Yeah, but you're speaking
God forbid the Lions go 8-9 this year and miss the playoffs and finish second to I don't know who. But you know who's going to get the bulk of that blame.
It's going to be Goff.
It's going on Goff.
And
so,
it should be, though,
that's why I
because-
say I get your point. I get your point. I just think because of all the off the field bullshit, and that's exactly what it is. I worry more about Jamo in that regard. But do I worry about Jamo producing? Absolutely
Yeah,
not. Monster.
absolutely not.
He's going to ball up.